Kamusta? So how can we handle this sideway and downward action, some correction? And most of us probably are experiencing this FUD and some fear in the market. I don't want to give any false hope, but it's been a while that the crypto world is experiencing this corrections or this sideways action. And most of us are very fearful on what's going on what will be the next move.
This is Healthy Minds giving you bites and pieces of crypto news.
Meron nga bang pag-asa na magkaroon na ulit tayo ng reversal or this downward action will just continue? Or maybe we will just have this longer sideway action of accumulation in the market? So let's try to analyze and review natin to technical analysis in a trading chart. From here, we could see several conditions to validate if this theory has evidence possibility the trend will actually go to what we are expecting. As we mentioned already, that the two things that we are eyeing here are the moving average, the 50, which is the purple one, and the 100 moving average in green one. As we know, if these two cross and the moving average 50 goes up the 100, it's a bullish trend. But at the same time, we could see here na minamention niya dito na yung ating RSI should have a clear bullish movement. Although I don't agree here 100% because he mentioned here bullish divergence. I'm not sure how did he do this. We have a downward movement, but maybe what he did here is he tried to read the close and not including these wicks. Nevertheless, we'll try to check these conditions plus this isometric triangle that he's showing. There are also two conditions here where you could see if you are opening this clearly that there's a green channel here that is possible movement upward, and in contrary is the red channel going downward. So baka sabihin nyo, Henry, ano ba to? Mukha namang parang nanguhula lang tayo whether it's gonna go up or it's gonna go down. Well, there are always possibilities that these things will happen. That's why we'll try to analyze ano ba yung sinasabi ng technical indicators that will assist us on how we could utilize and navigate this market. Ang conditions natin dito is we should have this isometric triangle somehow. We have this bullish movement on the RSI, and of course this moving average crossing with each other. So from here, tignan natin kung ano nga ba yung basihan. Does will it tell us kung are we ready or getting ready to move up again back to the bullish momentum? So for the past weeks and months, this what mentioned here. If you're going to look back and compare this, last March 21st, we had this crossed here. And from here, nakita natin na ang movement ng market, it actually moves upward, though it moves sideways during that time. But basically, since the start of the cross, we have this bullish movement. And nakikita din natin yung conditions niya na ang divergence or ang movement ng RSI in that particular period is creating higher lows. So, nasunod yung conditions na yan. The next one was created around February 2. So, from here, makikita naman natin na there's another triangle that was formed. This cross happened. And at the same time, we have again this RSI movement to the upward. So, it's like merong basihan siya. Tignan natin kung meron pa ang mga pagpatunay ng theory na to. So we also have here happened last December. Yeah, it's around December 18. We had another cross. We have again this triangle condition, and we have also again that upward movement on the RSI. So somehow it looks like this analysis has its own good comparison. We also have this one back on October 10 had another cross, Same condition, the triangle is there, and the RSI movement. Lalo na tong pagdating nung July 24, we had another cross and we could see this huge movement. Every time that we will have this triangle, there is a huge run to the upside. So does this mean that this triangle will actually cause us on moving again to the upward trend? Let me bypass that and let's move April 23rd. So same condition. We have upward RSI movement. We have the triangle. We have the cross. But as you can see, we have to be cautious also because there is one time in the market, this happened last July 2, where instead of going upward, what happened here is it's continuously move on the sideways for a certain period of time around. You're going to check this and let's try to measure it. It actually lasted around 75 days, almost 2.5 to 3 months in sideways action before it decided to move up again. So from here, pwede natin mapaghandaan na during this period, we could see that there's a clear consolidation and accumulation on the market before it moved again to the upward. Well, personally, if you're going to ask me, this is such a healthy correction or consolidation. The market actually need this one because we have to understand that it's going to be difficult if we will continue run in parabolic like this without a strong support. So kung wala tayong support na makukuha, what do we expect? Of course, this asset will just plummet like a bubble pop, just like what happened last 2017. So from here, personally, this is not a financial advice, but for me, this move is healthy. We are still in this upward trend. If we're going to look on a higher time frame, it seems like there's still nothing changed. We are still on that upward movement. But of course, if you're going to zoom in and check every hour, every minute, of course, your view will be different. But of course, as I mentioned also, yung collaboration namin ni Jesse and Siren last time, that there are some hints that this move will continue either in a downward action or in a sideways action. But it doesn't mean that the bull market is already finished. And then if it reached some criteria that I mentioned also on that collaboration, seems like the bear market will probably have that run for a certain period. But I still believe that this asset still had a strong run to the upward. But again, just like I mentioned, this is not a financial advice. So what I'm trying to do here is just to give you views on how we could navigate the market. Now let's see what's going on the other assets like the altcoins. Right now, we could see Bitcoin dominance. We are playing around 43.6% as of today. And makikita din natin dito na we found the support on this. This was made last 2018 and our lowest point since the 2017 bull market is around 35% or points when it comes to the Bitcoin dominance. And we went down 39.66 points. If you will see here on TradingView, this is such a huge run when it comes to the altcoin. So, but what we are expecting is we might have another move continuously, either sideways action, or we might try it again to test this resistance before run for another altcoin season. But of course, this is such a possibility that we are looking, at least we know what is the range of the possible movement on the market. One thing I want also to show us this inverse scale when it comes to the movement of Bitcoin. So from here, what do you actually see in the market if we try to inverse it? Do you think this market will still continue to go downward or upward? Remember, this one, what we're looking right now is the inverse scale of Bitcoin. And from here, it seems like we will reach this resistance, which is in reality is support, since we're looking at upside down. And there's a big possibility that we'll just meet this and bounce back again towards this movement. So, yan yung mga gusto kong makita natin. Although it doesn't mean na bumagsak yung market, is the trend is already ending. But what we could do here is try to check again what is our plan on our goals. Meanwhile, on the other coins, just like I mentioned, we have ADA. There's a clear channel from this side. So it seems like we are hitting the resistance again. Either this downward movement here. So expect there will be some resistance. If not, if this will continue moving, the next resistance is this one, around 1.8. So yan yung possible movement ng ADA for the meantime. And in between, these are just going to be noise. We have a support, clear support in this area. But if you want to go a little deeper, we might actually get this also, this area here as a support, potential support. So the possible movement, we could actually do some testing again. We might even go down here, and then possible movement again on the upwards and sideways action, those kind of things for ADA. Let's try to check others like Ethereum as well. What is the current movement of Ethereum? Almost the same with ADA. We created this channel here between the support and the resistance. We are expecting that the movement of the market will be on sideways. We might try to test again this resistance here before we move again either sideways or to the upward action. Now, if we will break this support, that will be a different story. Now we might consider a deeper correction if that is the case. So this might hold, but so far what I can see is this is such a strong support around 2000 area, 1900 area. This will break, definitely the next support that we are looking is around the 1500, 1400 area. That would be the next support. So feel free to comment down below. You could include some of your coins that you could consider in doing our chart analysis. And I'd like to thank everyone again for supporting the channel. Let's continue to share and make some awareness.
Once again, this is Healthy Minds reminding you that we're not a financial advisor, so always do your own diligence.